On a Tuesday morning, a photo slipped out of a book and blew my life open. That night, I found the same photo on someone's public profile. The bio read, "Lover of travel, dogs, and my one and only, Bobby." Then I opened the album, Italy, Christmas with his family. Captions like, "Happy 5th anniversary." 5 years. I had known him for 6 months. He promised me forever. It was whispered calls at midnight, secrets traded in the dark, a kind of adrenaline that felt like destiny. I thought I was the lead in a forbidden love story. I didn't realize the cast list was full before I ever walked on set. I wasn't the main character. I was the side plot. Saying that out loud used to make my throat close. Shame does that. It convinces you your pain is embarrassing. But I know sharing is how we heal, and maybe this helps someone who feels as invisible as I did. We met in the most way possible, at a friend's party. Music too loud, drinks too cheap, me. 5 minutes from leaving, then I saw him. He was across the room, laughing, and his laugh cut through the noise like a pocket knife. Our eyes met for half a second. Movie moment. Stomach backflip kind of moment. Later, I went to the patio to breathe. He was there. We started talking and time folded. Hours of everything and nothing. He was quick, bright, and he looked at me like the room blurred, and I came into focus. It's wild how fast you'll hand someone your hope when he makes you feel seen. Early on, he said his situation was complicated. Not fully out to his family. Pressure. Expectations. It didn't feel like a red flag. It felt romantic. A storm we'd outlast together, just until things settle. I need a little more time. I believed him. I made myself his safe place, the one person who got the unfiltered version. Our beginning lived in the shadows, and I told myself shadows were softer, more tender. I didn't understand those shadows weren't protecting us. They were hiding me. The first months were a blur of stolen time. Late night calls until the birds started. Meetings in quiet parks, our hands finding each other under a table like a secret handshake. Texts that felt like oxygen after holding my breath all day. The danger made everything burn brighter. That's the trick of secrecy. It mimics intensity. He was gifted at making me feel chosen. "You're the only one who really sees me," he'd say. Then paint pictures of a future. A small house, weekend trips, inside jokes we hadn't invented yet. He made me feel like the main character of an epic romance. The secrecy was just our temporary plot twist before the happy ending. A lot of queer love stories have layers like that. Ours felt like one of them. Here's something I learned the hard way. When you're living on scraps of someone's time, your hunger will call those scraps a feast. My days were a countdown to his next text. My nights were built around his calls. Plans would get canceled at the last minute with a reason that felt noble or heartbreaking. Family, work, crisis. I always understood. I always forgave. I thought being his secret was the price of great love. Turns out, the one paying was me. Then the seams started to show. The first crack was his phone. At the start, it was casual, face up, forgotten on the table. Slowly it became a body part, face down, locked, calls taken in the other room. If a notification popped up, he'd whip away like a reflex. My stomach learned to fear a buzz. Weekends turned into black holes. He'd vanish with a vague family thing, or trip with friends. 48 hours of static. Then, like clockwork on Sunday night, I'd get, "I missed you. I'm so sorry." It was hell. Relief washed everything clean, and I decided to believe him again. Hope makes a convincing lawyer. One night we were watching a movie at my place. His phone buzzed on the coffee table. I glanced a name, Martin, followed by hearts. Before my brain could process, he lunged and grabbed it. He laughed it off. My overly affectionate cousin. But I could see the pulse thudding in his neck. My gut set off sirens. I muted them, because if something was wrong, then the story I was living was a lie, and I wasn't ready to grieve it. Finding out wasn't cinematic, it was ordinary. Tuesday morning, he left for work. I was tidying. A book fell open, and a wallet-sized photo slipped onto the floor. 2 men on a beach, sunlit and effortless. Him and someone else. They looked like the kind of happy you don't fake for a camera. That night, I searched the name I'd seen on his phone. Martin, public profile. The beach photo as the profile picture. Bio, lover of travel, dogs, and my one and only, Bobby. There was a link to an album. I clicked and fell into a life I didn't know existed. Vacations in Italy. A Christmas party with his family. The same family he said he couldn't tell. Hundreds of photos across years. Captions with inside jokes. Happy 5th anniversary. 5 years. I had known him 6 months. The truth landed like cold water. I wasn't part of a secret love story. I was the secret. I wasn't his hidden treasure. I was his hidden mistake. I didn't stage a grand confrontation. I sent a screenshot. The calls rolled in. I ignored them until I couldn't. When we finally spoke, the person I thought I loved crumbled. He cried. He said he loved me, but he was confused. He said things with Martin were complicated. They'd been struggling. Every script a cheater keeps in a back pocket. And then the line that snapped whatever was left in me. Please, just don't tell him. It would destroy him. There it was. My role, even at the end, was to keep the secret. Protect the world he built. My pain didn't factor into the architecture. I was an intermission in his main feature. Breaking up was the hardest easy thing I've ever done. Hard, because a stubborn part of me still wanted the version of him that existed in my head. Easy, because that version never lived outside it. After my self-worth felt like a house after a storm. Roof torn, floor flooded, walls stripped. Healing wasn't dramatic. It was simple, boring work. Sleeping, eating, talking to people who loved me. Remembering things I enjoy. Relearning my own rhythms without the tension of waiting for a text. And slowly, I understood. His lies are a mirror of him, not a measurement of me. If you take anything from this, let it be this. A love that asks you to shrink, to hide, to survive on crumbs, isn't love. It's a cage dressed like romance. And that little voice in your chest you keep trying to out-argue. It's almost always right. I walked out of that story with scars, and with a steadier spine. I'm no longer staring at a screen, praying it lights up with his name. I'm not anyone's secret anymore. I'm not a side character. I'm the main character of my own life. And honestly, the plot got better the second I stopped auditioning for a role that was never mine. If you've ever discovered you were the other, tell me below. What did you do next? What part hurt the most? What part set you free? Your story matters here. You are not invisible. You are not alone. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.
Maybe I shouldn't call you or leave a message at all. So I'll try to be patient, 'cause nothing's written on the wall. Yeah, it's too soon to mention how I've begun to feel that I want your attention. This time it is for real. Oh baby, love me like you